What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Dee Hankins Show, where we talk about life, help you with your curveballs, and celebrate your home runs. My name is Dee Hankins, and we have just wrapped up a massive 4-episode series talking about our second pillar of our core 4, financial resilience. We talked about the mindset shift. We talked about debt payoff, how to do that, the snowball method, budgeting, how to increase your income, all to get you to be financially healthy, all to get you to be financially resilient, which means taking full control and full responsibility for your life financially so that you can do the things that you need to do that fulfill your life spiritually, that bring you joy. Because ultimately, my belief is that our lives here on earth are used to help serve and help other people, whether it's our immediate family, whether it's other people out in the world. We are designed to help people and serve people. And the best way to do that is to become resilient, because sometimes life wants to throw curveballs at you, and those curveballs can sometimes be devastating. Those curveballs can be lost. Those curveballs can be mental. It can impact you mentally, financially, spiritually, physically. And so I'm all about taking full responsibility and control in those core 4 areas. So let's recap real quick. If it's your first time with me, you're going to hear core 4 a lot. You're going to hear 3 buckets a lot. And so this is what your core 4 is. Your core 4 are what I believe the most important areas of your life to be resilient in. That's your spiritual health, which is you, spiritual resilience, which is just you as a being, your soul, your spirit, your purpose, all the really, really important stuff that make up who you are, personality, love language, so on and so forth. That's your spiritual resilience. Financial resilience is all of your finances, all the things that you need to pay for things, for you to do things, for you to, I don't want to say live, but to, live in I guess in current times, right? You need money. And I want you to get out of the rat race of being in debt, which will drain you spiritually and so on and so forth. I want to put you in a place where you can live out your spiritual health financially. Like you can help people out financially. You can donate to hospitals and give to the poor and things like that. Then there's your physical health, which is you physically. So there's your spiritual you, and there's your actual physical body, which we'll talk about in this episode. And then there's your mental health, which is the anchor of it all. Mentally, you have to be disciplined. Mentally, you have to have strength to carry on, to just even listen to what I'm teaching you or to what people are teaching you in general. So that is your core 4. We've wrapped up spiritual resilience, we've wrapped up financial resilience, and now we get into physical resilience. So in this episode, we're going to talk about how to take care of yourself physically. And before we even dive into that, I'm not talking about being an athlete, and I'm not talking about being in super duper shape to where you have to be a runway model. I'm not talking about that. That's not physical resilience. That's a part of the dedication of physical resilience. But in this episode, it's about how to get your body right so that when life throws curveballs, you can recover quickly and bounce back. Let's get into it. Physical resilience is your body's ability to recover quickly from illness, stress, exhaustion, some type of physical attack, right? Laceration, an abrasion, a disease, high cholesterol, broken bones, a sprained ankle, anything that affects you physically. Now, if you don't know this, your body as a whole is probably the best example of resilience that you have. Your body endures scrapes, cuts, bruises every single day, sometimes without us knowing. And the great thing that you can learn about your body and its physical resilience is the fact that it has systems in control that help keep you alive automatically, okay? My job, or what I want to do in these next few episodes, is to let you know that the choices that we make and the things that we do to our body disrupt its natural function to keep us alive. It slows us down, right? Your lungs are designed to filter out, bad particles in the air so you can breathe fresh air and you can keep on living. When you smoke, you damage your lungs. and your lungs are not able to do what they're supposed to do at a capacity that they're supposed to do it, which ultimately affects your life. It takes your life expectancy down, all right? Your body is designed miraculously and uniquely to keep you kicking, okay? There's microorganisms that we breathe in time and time again that our body automatically fights off. There's certain diseases, if you ever had the flu, stomach poisoning, if you've ever thrown up because you've eaten something, bad, that is your body's way. It's this defense mechanism to keep you alive. Man, your body is absolutely incredible. What we do, though, is we damage it. And when we damage our physical health, when we damage the physical body, and we disrupt all of these systems that typically work simultaneously, harmoniously, and very efficiently, right? If you're over the age of 5, that is a miracle in its own. If you're 90 something, that is a miracle in its own. Imagine having a car that worked automatically. Obviously you had to put gas and wiper fluid and coolant in it. But imagine if we had cars that lasted 90 something years. That'd be crazy. But your bodies do that. Your bodies last years and years and years and years and years. And for those that take care of their body, they get to reap the reward of life. Now, is taking care of this miraculous machine that you call your body difficult? The answer is no. But if you've already dug yourself into a hole, the answer is yes. If you've made poor decisions in your My Choices bucket daily, okay, then maintaining your body, maintaining your physical health, your physical resilience is going to be difficult. But luckily for you, we have this podcast to teach you how to do that. There's 3 main focuses that anybody would tell you are the basics of keeping your physical body well-oiled and running efficiently. And that's going to be sleep, that's going to be nutrition, and that's going to be movement. Okay. One time I had just bought a new car and I was trying to kind of sell my old car. I wasn't driving it at all. So it just sat there, and it sat there for a cool, 2-3 months, something like that. And then when I tried to start it again, it didn't work. Now you would think it's a machine. Okay, just because it sits there, it should be able to kind of fire up and do what it's supposed to do, but it didn't. And your body works in the same way. Movement is one of its systems that keeps you healthy. So if you're not moving as much as you are consuming food and all that other stuff, your body's systems are off balance. And if they're off balance, you're off balance. And if you become off balance, health issues start pouring in. And the reason why this is important, the reason why I use this as a core 4, all of these core 4s are connected. There is nothing more financially draining in life than having health problems. Nothing. There is nothing, I'll say that again. There is nothing more financially draining than health problems. Having to go to the doctor, time in and time out, having to deal with, the dentist and all of these institutions that keep you healthy or fix your symptoms or problems, it puts a hole in your pocket. So if you're financially unhealthy and you're physically unhealthy, man, we're in trouble. All right. We already made a commitment to take care of our spiritual selves, or at least to recognize that we have purpose. We already made this commitment to take back our financial responsibility so that if life does throw a curveball and hurt you physically, you're ready to go. You're good to go. And I want that for you. All right. So we're going to focus on those 3 areas when it comes to physical resilience. It's sleep, it's nutrition, and it's movement. You got to move. You got to get enough sleep, and you have to have the proper nutrition. Now, if you go on YouTube right now and you type in nutrition for health, you are going to get 20,000 different opinions. You're going to get 20,000 people who say bread is bad, meat is bad, fish is bad, vegetables are bad, water's bad, tap water's bad, ice water's bad, oatmeal is bad. You're going to get all these different opinions, and you have to work with what you can work with. Now, I think they're all in agreement that sugar and junk food and fried foods and all of that stuff is bad, right? I think most people are in agreement. Now, of course, there's this thing called moderation, and we'll get to that later. But right now, these are the things that we're going to focus on. So once again, say it with me: sleep, nutrition, movement. Sleep, nutrition, movement. These core are important because these are things that you can control. You can control your sleep, you can control how much you move, and you can control what you eat. And remember, there are certain external factors, certain things that happen that are outside of the my choices bucket that we can't control. And our job is just to respond to those things in a positive way. But we focus on living in the my choices bucket. And if you are unhealthy physically, if you are overweight, if you have high cholesterol, if you have, just massive and chronic health problems that aren't due to like old age, okay, then you know that this has happened over time. You weren't this weight yesterday, okay? Meaning you didn't just wake up overweight and obese. These are things that you decided to do. You didn't just wake up, addicted to alcohol or addicted to smoking or things like that. It didn't just happen that way. These are decisions that you have made on a daily basis. The other side of that coin is if you have made decisions that have put you unhealthy or put you in the unhealthy category physically, you can take back control and start making choices that make you healthy physically. You can reverse it. So that's what we're going to do in these next couple episodes. We're going to start making decisions. We are going to take full responsibility and accountability for our physical resilience. Because once again, your physical health is connected to so much more. Low energy leads to poor decisions. That's mental. It leads to impatience. That's spiritual. It leads to debt. It really does. That's financial. So all of these things are connected. What I've noticed in my career is stress. When we're stressed out about spiritual stuff, financial stuff, that stress load puts our body in a physical chokehold, okay? And it's so crazy how this is all connected. I'm thinking of myself right now. And when I get stressed out and life isn't going where I want to go and I slip up and start blaming people and get out of the my choice buckets, I eat terribly. When I eat terribly, I sleep terribly. When I sleep terribly, I do not have enough energy to go to the gym. So those things that are super important in physical resilience all fall apart. And when they all fall apart, that's when I get spiritually just broken and it just starts to trickle down, man. So like, I do not want to knock down that domino. And I've done this. I have these I have these phases of depression. I have these phases of when things start to fall apart. And I have to remind myself that I have to put systems in place. I do. To bounce back. You have to remind yourself to bounce back. And that's where the mental resilience comes in. And they're just all connected. And I know I keep repeating myself, but I just want you guys to understand that they're all connected. It's not just one or the other. When people come to me and they're broken and they ask questions, it's because one or more of their core 4 pillars are just demolished. And then you just trickle down and it's hard to dig out that hole. So we want to be proactive in our approach because that's where resilience comes in. We'll be right back. As you know, my passion is to help people build resilience, and it's a journey I've been on my entire life. That's why I created the Dee Hankins At Best Student Development Program. I started the program because I once was a student facing major curveballs, and I want to show students that they have a chance at a successful future no matter their background. We empower students with a 6-step framework called Win Your Challenges, and we build a network of support between students and parents and caring adults in their lives. If you're a parent, educator, or administrator and want to learn more about how we build bridges and transform school communities, I invite you to visit my website, deehankins.com. That's DeeHankins.com. to learn more about how you can bring the At Best program to your school. Welcome back, y'all. Okay, you heard me talk about the 3 buckets, and we have to always master the 3 buckets whenever we're talking about the core 4, all right? So in the My Choice bucket, where you have all your power, when it comes to physical resilience, you are responsible for your physical well-being and your physical health. That is your choice, nobody else, all right? Unless you are 1 year old or 2 years old and you cannot cook or clean or, cook or take care of yourself, change your own clothes, take a shower and things like that, you are responsible for your health, okay? You're responsible for how much you sleep, for how much you move, for how much or for what goes into your body. You can set the meal plan. You can set how long you sleep. You can set the bedtime. You can set when you go to the gym. You can buy stuff for the house if you don't want to go to a gym. You have the power to do all those things. So it falls into the My Choice bucket to get physically resilient. This is a My Choice thing. If you have made bad decisions, I don't want to say bad, but if you have made decisions that have not helped you out or helped you go in your direction, you have to own that. You have to own that. You got to look at yourself and say, if I'm struggling physically and because I'm doing this, what do I need to do to change it? All right. So you're responsible. You're responsible right now for what you look like. And I think about this all the time. I love Comic-Con. If you guys don't know that, I love to cosplay. I love to dress up. And to be honest with you, I have not felt as comfortable as I used to dressing up because I don't look like I want to look like. And that's on me, and every year I remind myself and I'm like, all right, every time I go to a Comic-Con or a WonderCon, I'm like, all right, D, you got to get together. And I look up the computer and I type in all this stuff and get my meal plans together and so on and so forth. And then life happens. Life throws a curveball and knocks me off my square. And then I'm back to square one. And it's just this constant cycle. And so it's important to mentally be strong and mentally put things in plan, which is what I started doing now, right? It's like, can't miss more than 2 days for something, all right? You got to make it happen. I'm constantly thinking about, I'm not going to make it home in time. I'm not going to make it to put my kids to bed in time. I'm not going to make it to this game in time. And I'm constantly talking myself out of things. And then I get to a place where I realize, dang, I'm unhappy. And so sometimes you have to make drastic decisions and create a life around your core goals, the things that really matter to you, the things that are draining your happiness. You got to set boundaries that say, I'm going to work within these boundaries. So I have accountability apps. I have goal setting apps. I have all this stuff to keep me accountable and hold me accountable. Because at the end of the day, nobody's sad that I didn't fit into my Frozone costume. Nobody but me. When I walk into a Comic-Con, nobody's sitting there like, oh, D, man, you didn't dress up. It's because of me. So that guilt that you feel, that shame that you feel because you don't feel or look the way you want to look, nobody feels that but you. So change it. And that's where the My Choice bucket comes in. Now, in the Your Choices bucket, you're going to have people that are in your life that affect you, that cause stress, that may smoke in the house, that may drink in the house, that may just buy a bunch of unhealthy snacks and things like that. You may have roommates that in a secondhand way affect your health, affect your life, or someone that hits you. Now you got a scar on your face. You have people who've had, unclean partners and now you got an STD and you didn't ask for that, but here you are. And now you have to maintain that. So there are people out there that will affect your physical resilience and affect your physical health. You have to realize that. Remember, you can't control that. Now you can control the STD part, obviously, by being abstinent, but people can lie. People can do shady things, so on and so forth. So ultimately, what I'm trying to say is, yes, there are people out there that can make bad decisions that affect you physically. You can't do anything about that. You can only respond to or you can only control how you respond to those actions. All right. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to grab the shovel, put the shovel down. Okay. And what I mean by that is you don't want to make choices that continue to dig you deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay. And I'm reminded of this when my good friend DJ, whose birthday's coming up, so happy birthday, DJ, he was doing his weightlifting, bodybuilding competition. This was his first competition. I invited him out to my birthday. We were having like a dinner. It was at a restaurant, and he didn't eat one thing. He showed up, he supported me, he said, "What's up?" Drank some water and called it a day. Even though I was like, "Come on, dude, like one piece of pie. Come on, bro, one piece of this, one piece of this." And he was just resilient, and he was just like, "No, I have things to do. I'm disciplined. I have this goal." And he didn't eat anything. He didn't eat not one thing. And I've always been impressed by that. So the peer pressure of doing certain things is real too. But he lived in a my choices bucket. He made his decisions, and that was that. And he went on to win his first place in his category. So I thought that was pretty amazing. Okay. So that's my choices. That's your choices. And then you have the major one, which is natural disasters, acts of God, AKA things that are out of your control. A big one that we all can relate to is COVID. Nobody asked for that. This was out of our control. Okay. This is something that happened to us that affected us. Now, I don't know about you, but I got COVID, and that story was crazy. Me and my boys were playing basketball, and we were breaking the rules, but still, we were playing basketball. We were in the gym, and I was sweating, but I was cold, and it was weird because I'm looking at my boys while we're playing, and I'm like, "Man, are any of y'all cold? Are you cold?" And they're looking at me like, "Nah, bro, I'm not cold." So I keep playing, and I'm freezing at this point. And I'm like, "Yo, I got to stop playing." So I take a seat and drinking water, and like I'm shivering. I'm so cold, but it's hot in this gym. And so I'm like, "All right, y'all, I'm out." I get back to my place, and I think I took a quick shower and went to bed, and I was shivering. Like I don't know, like I was outside naked in dead winter. I was shivering. I was so cold, so weird. You know what I'm saying? And then, 24 hours went by. I was right as rain, but man, that was such a weird feeling for me. Now, if I look back and take full responsibility, I shouldn't have been playing basketball. But that's not how COVID works. You don't feel the symptoms right then and there. So I contracted it somehow, some way over, the course of, prior days or whatever the case may be. But man, this COVID thing really had an impact on me. I've had food poisoning before. I've had the flu before. I've had all kinds of things that have really affected me that I had no control over. But I had to respond to them. I had to do something to get me back to a place of normalcy. And that's what resilience is. So you're going to have things that affect you physically that are out of your control. There are some people that are going to affect you physically, and then you yourself are going to affect you physically. So with that being said, you need to look at yourself right now, and you need to ask yourself if you're struggling in the physical resilience pillar of your core 4. You need to ask yourself 3 questions. Is this because of what I'm doing, how I'm sleeping, how I'm eating, my non-movement? Is this because of what somebody did to me? They coughed on me. They got me sick. They, I don't know, cut my leg off. That's dramatic, but some people out there have had that. You've been attacked by somebody. Somebody has attacked you physically and left you scarred. That's real. Or is this out of my control? Have like an illness that you didn't expect, or a I don't know, a natural disaster that may have caused physical pain to you. These are all things that are real. And then you have to find out what bucket you are in, and then you have to figure out how to get back out of that bucket. Now, I know I talked about this before. In order to get out of the the acts of God bucket, you need to let it go. In order to get out of the your choices bucket, forgiveness. And in order to get out of the my choices bucket, well, there's no getting out of the my choices bucket. It's just changing your behavior and awareness and recognizing that you have a choice. All right, we'll be right back. What's up, everyone? I'm excited to announce the launch of my brand new podcast, The Dee Hankins Show. But it isn't just about me. I want you to be a part of it too. I'm looking for your stories for 2 brand new segments. First up, Curveball Corner. You have a situation or problem that you're dealing with, send in your story and I'll give you my best advice. Then we have Home Run Highlights for those moments of pure, undeniable success, like paying off your student loans, landing a new job, or buying a house. So, you ready to be on the show? Head to the link in my bio right now and share your story with me. I can't wait to hear from you. All right, y'all, I know this is a shorter episode as this is just an introduction to that physical resilience. We're going to start breaking it down in upcoming episodes on how to maximize your physical resilience, how to get back into the game physically so it's not a drain on your other core 4 areas. All right. So my call of action for y'all this week is to really think about which bucket you're in. That's all I want you to do. Are these things that you are doing yourself? Did somebody hurt you, or are you dealing with something that's out of your control and you need help getting out of it? And these other episodes are going to break down sleep, nutrition, and movement and how to do that. Whatever level you're on, some apps that may help you. We're just gonna build, just like we did financially. We're gonna build our resilience to make you ultra resilient and ultimately bounce back from life's curveballs. So now it's time to get into my favorite segment, which is Curveball Corner and Home Run Highlight. And this week, we don't have any, but that's all good. That's all right. I'm counting on next week. Somebody has to show up. If you're listening to this episode, or if you're listening to this podcast and you're tuning in, share it with somebody. Share it with a friend. Share it with a coworker. Share it with your family. Suggest it, man. Suggest the podcast. If it's helping you at all, suggest the podcast. I love these moments and I want to hear from you. So visit www.dhankins.com/podcast. Submit your story, whether it's a curveball or a home run highlight, and I would love to hear from you. All right, y'all, that's it for this week. Enjoy the week, have a good time, and remember, life throws curveballs, but even curveballs can be hit for home runs.